Joined now by someone who knows a lot about investigations like this, because Matt Murphy is the former senior deputy DA in Orange County, California, and successfully prosecuted dozens of murder cases there. He's also the author of the book of Murder, A Prosecutor's Journey Through Love and Death. Matt, I have been knocking on your door for days now, wanting to have this conversation with you, because I am surprised there hasn't been an arrest yet, and I wanted to know if you are.
Well, they're taking their time, Ashleigh, which is exactly what they should be doing. And there's a lot to untangle here. And it's important to remember he's presumed innocent, right? And we know, based on past history, there are juries in LA that will entertain absolutely insane defense theories. And so they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and they're being methodical, which is exactly what they should be doing. And I anticipate it's going to be a little while. Okay, so there are a multitude of potential crimes, as you just hit on. Number one, a 13-year-old there's a line under California law for any sexual contact. And again, it's speculative at this point. We don't know. The information hasn't come out. But there's a big line between 13 and 14. 13 is 288A of the California Penal Code, which is essentially any lewd contact with a minor, 13 or under. So that's a big deal. 14 also, it's 288C. So depending on just the nature of the relationship itself, before we even get to the homicide, he's being investigated right now. And apparently they went in there. Some of the things that we're seeing coming out of that house were things like computers and tablets, and that's exactly what they should be looking for. And right now, probably as we speak, there is some overworked, underpaid forensic technologist who's going through cell phones and computers and looking for any evidence of that relationship. Another thing that's interesting here is, we've talked about this before, Ashleigh. We have the information that's come out from the LAPD, which has been minimal, right? And it should be minimal right now. They have to be very careful about the information they release. But this is a murder potentially a murder in the modern era. And the reason I say potentially, we don't have a cause of death yet. And I've had cases where we thought somebody was murdered and it turned out later it was an OD. We had one once where the person committed suicide, it turned out. So we don't know yet. Now, she was dismembered, certainly didn't do that to herself, but we don't know from the coroner's office yet exactly if they have a cause of death, what it was. We don't know. And I'm going to suspect a dismembered, heavily decomposed body like that, it's going to be tough to tell. There are certain telltale signs depending on what was in there, what they actually recovered. But at this point, we don't know. But the really interesting part about this to me is the online sleuthing. And that there can be a lot of bad that goes along with that. But some of this is really interesting here. You wrote a song called Romantic Homicide. Now, that was long before she was killed. Or died, but the online part is really interesting. All these videos that keep popping up where it shows this young woman that looks like her.
It is, and I got to be honest with you. I have so many questions for you, like millions, literally. I wanted to ask you a second ago about the lewd behavior or the lewd connection to a teenager who's 13 or 14, and I just want to get this on the record real quickly. Does that mean online behavior, or does that mean physical behavior?
That's a really good question. There are circumstances where online behavior alone between a 13 or under child and an adult can constitute a completed child molest. In other words, if they're sexting or somebody is directing a child to perform certain acts online, I've prosecuted those before where that counts as a completed child molest, even if they haven't met and even if there's no physical contact.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.